If your bank account is at zero, you haven't lost the game. You have just reached the true starting line. When you are drowning in debt and living paycheck to paycheck, society tells you it is a moral failure. They tell you that you didn't work hard enough, that you didn't study the right subjects, or that you are simply unlucky. I am here to tell you that it is none of those things. It is a mathematical error, and the modern financial system is explicitly designed to make you commit it. The corporate matrix does not want you to be financially independent. It wants you exhausted, broke, and endlessly paying the interest on your own survival. But how do you restart your financial life when you have absolutely $0 to invest? You cannot invest your way out of a burning house. You must perform a radical financial surgery, weaponize your remaining time, and manufacture your own leverage. Today, we are going to strip away the illusions of the modern hustle culture and look at wealth creation from the perspective of a ruthless capital allocator. We're going to break down the physics of poverty, and I am going to give you the exact blueprint to reach escape velocity. Poverty is not a number. It is a gravitational force. Most people think they are poor because they lack money, but they are wrong. They are poor because they are trapped in a closed-loop system designed to keep them spinning their wheels until they run out of biological energy. To understand how to escape, you must first understand the invisible chains holding you down. The first and most devastating chain is the scarcity tax. Financial stress physically damages your brain's processor. When you are constantly worrying about how to pay the rent, how to afford groceries, or how to keep the electricity on, your cognitive bandwidth is completely consumed by survival. Studies have shown that extreme financial anxiety temporarily lowers your IQ by up to 13 points. You are operating with a compromised operating system. You cannot think about a 5-year compounding strategy when you are panicking about a 5-day deadline. This scarcity mindset forces you to make terrible short-term decisions. You take out predatory payday loans. You buy cheap, low-quality goods that break and cost you more in the long run, a concept known as the Vimes Boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. You are penalized for being broke. The system charges you overdraft fees, late fees, and high interest rates. It is a gravity well, and every time you try to pull one foot out of the quicksand, the other sinks deeper. To break this, you must stop treating the symptoms and start treating the disease. You must achieve a baseline of stability, not by earning more immediately, but by drastically, violently cutting your expenses to the bone. You must embrace extreme frugality, not as a punishment, but as a tactical retreat. You're gathering your forces. The second chain is the dopamine trap, also known as self-medication through consumption. When your life is stressful and your job is miserable, your brain screams for a reward. The modern economy is perfectly optimized to sell you cheap, instant dopamine. You buy a coffee you can't afford. You finance a car to impress people you don't even like. You upgrade your phone because the marketing convinced you that it will somehow elevate your social status. This is the ego tax. The middle class and the lower class voluntarily destroy their own wealth to project an illusion of success. True wealth is silent. Fake wealth is loud. When you have $0, your ego is your greatest liability. You have to undergo a psychological death of your old identity. You must enter what some call monk mode. You must stop caring entirely about what the outer scorecard says. If your friends laugh at you for driving a beat-up car, you must let them laugh. If society tells you that you are falling behind, you must ignore them. You are no longer playing their game. You are building a psychological fortress. Every dollar you refuse to spend on status is a dollar that you can weaponize for your escape. You must transition your mind from a consumer to a producer. Consumers trade their future for a momentary feeling of superiority. Producers delay gratification for decades to build an empire of undeniable leverage. The third chain is the linear income trap. This is the grand deception of the educational system. You are taught to trade your time for money. It is a linear equation. 40 hours of work equals 40 hours of pay. But here's the brutal truth of the labor market. The market treats you as a biological consumable. As an employee, you are an expense on a corporate balance sheet, and a corporation's primary directive is to minimize expenses. When you sell your time, you are playing a game with a hard mathematical ceiling. There are only 24 hours in a day. No matter how hard you work, you cannot scale yourself. Furthermore, your time is heavily taxed. The government takes its share before you even see it. To restart from zero, you must slowly detach your income from your time. You cannot do this immediately, but you must start building the bridge. How? By weaponizing your evenings. The 4 hours between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. are the only seed capital you need. Most people come home from their exhausting linear job, collapse on the couch, and consume entertainment. They drug themselves with television or social media to forget the misery of their day. You must take those 4 hours and treat them with absolute ruthless aggression. This is your second shift. This is where you build asymmetric leverage. You don't need a massive loan to start a business anymore. You need micro skills. You need to learn how to code, how to edit videos, how to write copy, or how to analyze data. You must stack skills that the market values exponentially, not linearly. You must become an irreplaceable asset. When you combine 3 or 4 highly specialized micro skills, you create a unique moat around yourself. You're no longer a replaceable cog. You become a system architect. The fourth chain is social gravity, often called the crab bucket effect. If you put 1 crab in a bucket, it will easily climb out. If you put 5 crabs in a bucket, the moment one tries to escape, the others will reach up and pull it back down to its doom. Human beings are exactly the same. Your social circle is a mirror of your current financial coordinates. If your 5 best friends are broke, complaining about the economy and spending their weekends drinking away their paychecks, you are guaranteed to be the 6th. When you declare that you're changing your life, when you stop going out to bars, when you start reading financial statements instead of watching sports, your friends will not applaud you. They will attack you. They will call you obsessed. They will say you have changed. They will try to drag you back down to their level because your ambition highlights their apathy. Your progress is a threat to their ego. You must be prepared to be incredibly lonely for a period of time. You must ruthlessly prune your social tree. Cut off the energy vampires. Cut off the complainers. If you cannot find a tribe of winners in your physical life, you must find them in books, in history, and in the digital world. Surround your mind with the thoughts of billionaires, philosophers, and builders. You become the average of the 5 voices you listen to the most. Choose those voices as if your life depends on it, because your financial life absolutely does. The final chain is the compound void. Once you have survived the scarcity tax, escaped the dopamine trap, started building leverage in your evenings, and cut off the social gravity, you will inevitably generate your first surplus. You will look at your bank account and see your first $1,000 of pure unallocated capital. This is the most dangerous moment of the restart. The temptation to reward yourself will be overwhelming. Your brain will justify buying a new watch or taking a vacation because you earned it. This is how people reset their progress back to zero. You must understand the brutal mathematics of the first $1,000. That money is not for spending. It is body armor for your personality. It is the beginning of what I call refusal power. When you have $0, money is your master. You must obey it. You must take abuse from a boss you hate because you need the paycheck to survive the week. But when you have a surplus, the relationship begins to reverse. That first $1,000 gives you the ability to breathe. The next $10,000 gives you the ability to walk away from a toxic environment. The first $100,000 makes you dangerous. You stop paying interest on the past and you start earning interest on the future. You must protect this snowball with your life. You must avoid lifestyle creep at all costs. As your income grows, your expenses must remain flat. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is the only space where wealth can grow. It is not about buying luxury. It is about buying your time back. It is about buying a low cortisol life. Restarting with zero is not a tragedy. It is a massive advantage if you perceive it correctly. You have no bad investments to unwind. You have no complex portfolio to manage. You have the ultimate clarity of absolute necessity. The escape pod is ready, but you cannot bring your ego, your excuses, or your toxic friends with you. You must strip yourself down to the bare metal. Embrace the silence of stealth wealth. Let the world think you are losing while you quietly build an impenetrable fortress in the dark. The system wants you to stay on the treadmill. It wants you to consume. It wants you to stay tired. Take absolute brutal responsibility for your coordinates. Reclaim your time. Manufacture your leverage and step into the arena. The math is clear. The rules are written. And the door is open. It is time to climb out of the dark.